Well, hello, and welcome back to Booze Reviews, where I, Aunt Boo, drink some booze and Eyes reviews these movies. Today's booze is Coppola Pinot Grigio from California. Made in California by a much better director than Zack Snyder. Them's fighting words. I know. Come at me. Come at me, fanboys. If Zack Snyder made a wine, it would be as convoluted and untenable as this movie. It would have like wine, but then he would add like Hawaiian punch to it and soy sauce and cocaine and Pop Rocks or something. I got a little bit of cork in here. Little cork never hurt anyone. Had to dig out the cork. You do what you gotta do when you're my age, you know? Francis Ford Coppola. We're gonna eat this shit salad together. It's not bad. My sister gave it to me for Christmas. So thank you, Dana. Thank you for not giving me the Zack Snyder wine full of explosions and gratuitous slow motion. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and review Rebel Moon, written and directed by Zack Snyder, starring a bunch of these people that I don't know. And it just came out on Netflix. So you can see it if you have Netflix. If you don't have Netflix, you don't have to watch it. A friend of mine who doesn't have Netflix was like, oh, I kind of want to see that movie. I think it's Zack Snyder's take on Star Wars. Now, I found this out about halfway through my first viewing of the movie. And you heard that correctly, my first viewing of the movie. I had to watch it twice. It's Rebel Moon, Part 1, A Child of Fire. It's on Netflix currently. It has a running time of 2 hours and 13 minutes. Part 1 makes me believe they're going to make a part 2 of this because there were a lot of loose ends. Were there? I don't know. I don't know. To tie up. This movie is a shit salad from Zack Snyder. Okay, now before all of you fanboys and fangirls of Zack Snyder come at me, I understand that I am not his target audience. Let me just ask you a question. Does Zack Snyder think that we don't have eyeballs that have seen other movies, like the movies that he's blatantly stealing from? Does he think that I have not seen the highest grossing movie of all time? Or any movie for that matter? He steals a lot. And I'm not just talking about Star Wars. I don't even know if he's stealing from Star Wars. I think he's trying to. He's doing a really bad job of it. I don't even know where to begin with the storyline because it's so convoluted. It's so derivative. Who exactly did he make this movie for? I think Zack Snyder made this movie for Zack Snyder. I think he made this movie so he could sit in a dark room and watch it by himself and jerk off to it. But but in slow motion. So he's like, I'm the best. You know, he's got like one trick, and it's the slow motion thing, right? And it's a pretty good trick. It was a pretty good trick like 5-10 movies ago. Get a new trick, Zack Snyder. I mean, you just keep doing the same thing. You're just f***ing us the same way. It's like flip me over and pull my hair and bite on my shoulder a little bit. Ooh, Francis Ford Coppola. Are you making me horny? Probably. I had cork in my mouth. Yeah, I know. Because I'm a slut. All you Zack Snyder fanboys, you know you hate this movie. You know you hate it. You know why? Because you all probably love Star Wars. And you were like, you know what? Lucasfilm, they made the right call. They made the right call. They told Zack Snyder, no, you can't have the rights to Star Wars. You can't make a Star Wars movie because he wants to do to Star Wars what he does to every other movie, which is just, you know, make a shit salad out of it. He's not a bad director. No. Yeah, he is. He's not a bad visual director, but he's just not a good storyteller. He has all of these elements that should work together, but they don't, and he can't make them cohesive enough to have a complete story. And you need a story. We don't go to the movies just to see visuals. We need a story along with our visual effects, along with all the cool shit that he's showing us. We need a story. Otherwise, art house films would be blockbuster hits. You know, something like Climax 3 would have been, you know, made $1 billion at the box office. It didn't. It's because you need a story in there. You need it to make sense. It's got to make sense. And a lot of the shit that he does in this movie does not make sense from a story standpoint. Why does it smell kind of funny? Is it weird that it smells like cigarettes? It tastes like Robert De Niro. And cannoli. Anthony Hopkins is in this movie. He has a voiceover. And aren't you a knight? Anthony Hopkins, do we have to start a GoFundMe page for you? Are you a f***ing knight? You work for the king, my dude. You don't have to do this line of work. You do not have some self-respect, sir. Anthony Hopkins. Is he a knight? I'm looking that up because, yeah, he sure was. So, yeah, he's Sir Anthony Hopkins. Okay. So, first film they're stealing from is Thor. They have all this, they have Anthony Hopkins, first of all, and then they have all this Viking-esque stuff on the moon, which was my favorite part, by the way. I like these people on this moon. They're farmers and hunters, and they're just like people of the land, and they connect with the land. We get this opening shot of the girl who's really badass. I like her. I like the girl who's in this. I don't fucking know. It's the girl who is the lead is, you know what? Bless her heart. I'm just going to say that. she really is trying to redeem this movie. She is really trying to make this a much better movie than it is. She's acting her little ass off, and I gotta give her props, right? She's really freaking hot, and her arms, good Lord, her arms, they would break you. And she's badass, and we love her. But she's got this whole complicated backstory that if you're not paying full attention, you're gonna miss a lot of plot points, and you're gonna miss a lot of like, what the is going on, and you're gonna end up asking. That's why I had to watch it watch it twice, because I totally zoned out in the beginning, and I was like, oh, I guess I should have paid attention to all that shit, because by the end of it, I was like, who the is that guy? There's spoiler alerts in here. If you didn't know, I spoil all the movies, and you know what? I can't spoil this movie because it came to me all rotten. So the girl, I like her, and she's pretty badass, and but she can't save this movie. She is trying to save these people, these farmer Viking people, and she ended up on their planet. She crashed her spaceship maybe into the planet. Some old dude dug her out, and I guess he's her surrogate father. And then she tells her whole backstory as it goes along. And she's supposed to be the person where our sympathies lie. But it's really hard to sympathize with her, because she is very one note. And again, she's trying. She is really trying, and she's acting as well as she can act. But it's a bit one note. And she just kind of pouts and scowls throughout the whole movie. She's like, and when she's not kicking ass, that is. And the guy who plays Gunner, he's like the farmer, Michael Huisman? Huisman? Nope. I'm going to call him wannabe Harrison Ford. It's not like he's Harrison Ford from Star Wars. He's like Harrison Ford from like Regarding Henry. He doesn't have the charisma or the personality really to be the leading man of this movie. He was really good in The Haunting of Hill House and a couple of Mike Flanagan movies I think that he did. And he was pretty good in those, but he's kind of boring, and which is good. He's a farmer and all, but and then Sons of Anarchy is in it, and he's is he? So he's kind of like this bounty hunter, but not a bounty hunter. Anyway, he ends up double-crossing them and betraying them. I told you there were spoilers. He ends up being a bad guy. He teams up with the bad guys and totally betrays all of them, which is a shame, because for a while I was like, oh, they're going to bang, him and the girl. They have a lot of chemistry. Him and the girl have really good chemistry. And when they're on the ship, it's all like, meow, 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 meow. But she's supposed to be the love interest of the farmer guy, but they don't have any chemistry, and I don't think she likes him that much, which is a shame, because Regarding Henry was a great movie. I'm gonna call him Regarding Henry. So who else is in this shit show? Oh yeah, Amistad, he's in it. He's like this old hot grandpa with a dreadlock beard, and he's pretty naked when we first see him, and I'm like, he better be careful in that loincloth, because the general is gonna stand at attention soon, because he plays like this general from the army. Okay, so what's the plot line of this movie? Who cares? Here's the thing. I'm going to explain it poorly, like really bad. I'm going to explain this really poorly. And then you're going to watch it, and you're not going to be any more informed than after you watched this. okay? It's not gonna fill in any of the gaps or clarify anything that I up in this review. So just so you know, it's pretty convoluted. And there's a lot of shit going on. So they are on this moon, and in the mother world, it's a mother world. God, Zack Snyder has created this whole universe, right? And it doesn't land. It does not land the way that the Star Wars universe did. And that's why he needs a writer. He does not need to be writing his own stuff. This is a failed experiment at him writing his own stuff. Also, it should not take you so long to tell a story. And if it does, make it into like a show. Turn it into a show like all those Disney shows did with the Star Wars shows or the Marvel shows. Do something like that. That's probably what needed to happen, because there's so many characters here that I just don't care about. I don't care about any of them. So the mother world, there was a king and his family. They all got assassinated. Then some evil senator guy takes over. He makes all of them assholes. He turns everyone into like weird hybrid Nazis that have like Crispin Glover haircuts. It's just weird. And that's how the bad guy in this, he would look more menacing if he didn't kind of remind me of Crispin Glover in the Charlie's Angels movie. I know. I can't help it. Okay, so representatives from the motherland come to this stupid moon where all the Viking farmers are, and they end up killing their leader. They end up killing the leader guy because, I don't know. That's what they do. That's what they do with everyone. They just fucking kill everyone. And the farmer guy, the Harrison Ford guy, steps up and tries to make a deal with them. Like, who the hell are you? I guess he's important to the village, but he ends up getting their leader killed, you idiot. And then the girl, she crashed in their planet, and she used to work for the mother world. I'm going to call it motherland. I'm going to that up every time because they're trying to be like Nazis, but Crispin Glover Nazis. So she is hiding out. For someone who's hiding out, she sure does expose herself a lot. She's trying to hide. I guess she's like on the run. She is hiding from the evil senator who is her adopted father because he killed her normal family. And she's hiding out on this moon. Then they set up a base, and they're all like trying to get with this little farm girl. You don't have to have that. What does Zack Snyder think? He's sitting around thinking, you know what Star Wars didn't have? Flat out rape. That's what Zack Snyder's thinking. You know what was missing from Star Wars? Fucking rape. But unlike other scenes in the movie, this does push the plot along because she was ready. Okay, so the girl was ready to bail, and the people were ready to just submit to the empire, the mother world, the empire. And then she interrupts the R word from all these asshole Nazis. She blows her cover. She's all fighting them and stuff, and then she kills all of them in like one pop. She's like Kill Bill. And she's just kicking ass in there. And then she's like, yeah, I guess we're going to have to fight because I just killed all these guys, and they're going to come back. And when they come back to get their grain, we're going to have to fight them. And then they're like, but we're farmers. We don't know how to fight. They don't know how to fight. They were just going to like roll over and let the empires them up. So then so then she's like, well, we need more people. So she and Regarding Henry go on a quest to find help, to fight, to help the village fight the mother world. And so this village, and they're going to find like 7 other people to fight the mother world. This is, I'm not kidding. Like, what are they going to do? Throw sticks at them? So they go on a quest. They go to find a guy. They end up in a bar. Some nasty guy hits on the farmer guy, and she kills him. And then Sons of Anarchy shows up. And they're like, thanks for helping us out. Oh, by the way, they tell their entire plan. Again, for people who are like afraid of getting caught and found out, they openly discuss their plan in a bar among bad people. And this bar, I guess, is supposed to be kind of like the bar in Star Wars, but there's a f***ing orc outside. Yeah, there's orcs from Lord of the Rings. So that's like the second movie that Zack Snyder has stolen from. Listen, the first time I watched this movie, I checked out after this scene. This was like the 3rd slow motion scene that I had seen. Yeah, there's a lot of slow motion. Again, it's a lot. It's a lot. He's got one trick. He's got one move. Switch it up. So they're discussing their entire plan in front of everyone in the bar. And she's trying to keep a low profile. That ain't the way to do it. That ain't the way to do it, big mouth. And this farmer guy, he's just a f***ing idiot. And so then they get on a ship with Sons of Anarchy. They just met him. Oh, did I mention the orcs? There's like, he just stole bad guys from another movie. Does Zack Snyder understand that I have seen The Lord of the Rings? That you've seen The Lord of the Rings? What the hell is he doing? You can't just steal characters from other movies and then put your name on it, make a move in slow motion, and then think that they're yours now. That's not how that works. Isn't there like intellectual property copyright or something? I don't know, but somebody needs to tell him that's a f***ing orc. I know what those guys look like. Cheers. This is not as good as Josh. Sorry, Francis. You know what? I'm sure it's good. Like, Italians probably love it. Just tastes like Diane Keaton's tears. This is made with the sweat of Marlon Brando. So this guy, Sons of Anarchy is like, hey, I'll take you around. We'll pick up some bad guys for you to join your revolution. And, you know, I guess it's people who hate the motherland and want to join their rebel cause. But we don't know these people. And why do we care? And then we get a couple of scenes. First of all, for someone who is supposed to be like a really great warrior, she has zero self-preservation. She's just going with this guy. They don't know him. They don't know him or his ship, and I don't even know what he gets out of the deal. I don't know why they end up going with him. He ends up double-crossing them, and you know, it's stupid. We need to start a GoFundMe for Anthony Hopkins, because not only is he the voiceover guy, he's the voice of this like robot that they take from the mother world and works for the Empire. I know they're not the Empire. I just don't know what else to call them. But the robot is is Anthony Hopkins' voice, right? And he can't hurt any of the soldiers. He's not supposed to kill any of the soldiers back at the farm before the one lady all killed them all. And one of the farmer girls notices they're just like with the, they're just all assholes, and they mess with them. And then the farmer girl, she's so cute, she shows him a lot of kindness, and she shows him, you know, some love and concern and kindness. She makes this little cute little daisy crown for him in no time. Seems like she put that together real fast. I don't know. Maybe she's just got really fast fingers. And then she touches his cheek, and he blushes. Maybe is that what that is? He does this thing like his face lights up, like he's like he's Screech's robot when Kelly Kapowski kisses Kevin, Screech's robot, and he's like, that is the level of sophistication you are getting from this channel, where I can reference Cremaster and Saved by the Bell in the same episode. That's what I'm bringing to the table. So the three of them are going to get this guy, and he's like, I know where we can find a guy who's a good warrior. And she's like, okay, take me to him. So then they go to this farm where there's this guy tied up, and he has to, in order for him to pay off his debt, he's got to break this eagle-like thing. We get about 10 minutes of this guy talking to the eagle, bowing to the eagle, flying the eagle. There's 2 movies that this scene rips off. Harry Potter. He says, if that's not a hippogriff, I don't know what is. It's Harry Potter and fucking Avatar. Again, does Zack Snyder think we haven't all seen Avatar? What the hell is this shit? And it does it move the story along? Does the eagle come around? That eagle, so help me God, that eagle, that eagle better be in part 2, or I'm going to be so pissed that I watched that whole scene only for them to leave the eagle. They didn't even take the eagle with them. Come on. That was so gratuitous. It was just so, it was like, what the was that? I don't hate the shirtless guy, okay? I don't hate that. But he just rode the eagle for no reason. Ugh. And then they go to get Katana.
This is Katana! She's got my back! Her sword traps the souls of its victims.
They go to find this other chick, and she's Katana. And then there's this really cool scene with the spider. There's like this giant spider woman. And you know what? That should have been the character. They should have gotten a big ass spider to get on their side and go fight this war with them. That spider would have been cool, but way too expensive, I'm sure. That would have been way too expensive to take. But that would have been cool because I actually was rooting for the spider in that fight, even though she was trying to kill some little girl. Yeah, I was rooting for the Spider Woman in this scene. But also I was like, why the am I watching this? This is unnecessary. Why do we have, is it just to prove that everyone is who they say they are? Based on their appearance, I would have said, yeah, those are good fighters. You didn't have to show me all this unnecessary fighting. And by the way, it takes forever for that spider to die. Like, she stabs her in every possible way, and she still doesn't die. This makes me afraid, because this is like real life spiders. When I have tried to kill a spider before and it wouldn't die, it is the scariest thing ever. But it takes forever for the spider to die. And and she's, she's got the double sword thing. And I think the effect is really cool, but it reminds me of Morbius, when they're jetting around with all the things, with the laser thingies. Burp. Okay, so then they go to get the guy that the girl wanted to go get, which was this general. That's the hot grandpa guy. He needs to get a little cleaned up. He doesn't take much convincing to go. All she has to do is kind of act a little. She gives it her all in this scene. And you get no pity from me. No, she's not Irish. I don't know why. I'm also watching Peaky Blinders at the same time. So it's hard for me not to have an Irish accent. I love that show. We'll talk about that some other time. But it's funnier when I hate things, and yeah, I hate this movie. Anyway, she goes get Amistad. And so they get him. She's like, you'll get no pity from me. Come on, enjoy my fight. And he's like, okay. So then they go, what next? So then they go to the King Fish Face. Is his planet is supportive of this brother and sister that are leading this rebellion, right? And it's brother and sister with these really cool face paint on. They ask them to join their fight because apparently the farmer guy has had dealings with them before and gave them, sold them grain or something. And then, so the brother joins their fight, and I'm like, well, he's gonna die. I just knew that guy was gonna die. I don't know. I just knew. I was like, that guy is definitely gonna die. And they're gonna separate the brother and sister, and the sister's gonna go nuts and end up joining the rebellion because that makes sense. So predictable. The brother joins, and then one of his soldiers joins, and he takes a good amount of people with him. Not all of them, but a handful of people. And so they're going to go back and fight, and they're going to fight the motherland. Well, after they leave Fish Face planet, the mother world, they come and they kill Fish Face. And that sucks. But we knew that was going to happen because they kill everybody. They suck. It's a real sausage fest on that spaceship. And I like those odds. Anyway, they end up landing. Sons of Anarchy ends up betraying them, brings in Nazi Crispin Glover, and they end up having this big slow motion fight. She goes toe to toe with him. The brother dies, but not before. Okay, this is another thing that pissed me off. I can tell a story out of order because I'm a nothing YouTube account. No one's paying me $200 million to make my videos. These videos are not sponsored, by the way. I sure would like some money. But no one's paying me anything to do these videos. I'm just doing them for fun. They're paying Zack Snyder to tell you a story, and he's doing it wrong because all of these people that they ended up collecting, they get their backstory a couple of scenes later when they're all caught, and then the Nazi Crispin Glover guy gives this big monologue, goes around the circle, and talks about all of them and who all of them are. You know what would have been better? We had time on the ship. You could have told us who they were before we went and got them, right? You tell people who they are. You have time. It makes sense to the story, too. You know, it doesn't make sense. The bad guy telling all of his captors who they are. That's a weird, stupid scene. It's weird, and it's clunky dialogue. There's such clunky, weird dialogue in this movie. It's so bad. It's bad. And then a lot of stuff blows up. Somehow they all survive, except the brother, who I knew was going to get killed, and a lot of the people that came with him, except his right-hand girl person. I don't want to engender her. I don't know. But then the Nazi Crispin Glover. Oh, and then they rip off the Matrix. They rip off the Matrix too, because the guy, there's even pink goo. She and the guy have this fight, and he ends up falling off the side. Well, I guess they pick him up, take him back to the ship, and they plug him in. He has all these like ports on him, and either he's part machine or he has machine implants in him, and he goes to another realm to see the bad guy. Is he uploaded somewhere? Because he's still there, but then he's I kind of don't understand what's happening. But it's the ultimate bad guy, the senator, her dad, her adopted dad. And he's like, well, she kicked your ass. Bring her to me, and don't kill her, because I want to kill her myself. And blah, blah, blah. And then he like emerges, but he's like in this goo, like the Matrix. And then he like kind of gets it on with these eels at one point. That's weird. So then they end up going back to the Rebel Moon, blah, blah, blah. All the visuals in this movie didn't really help the plot, didn't really give you a lot of character information or development. Apparently there's a girl who's magic, who can bring birds back from the dead. Nobody cares. And now I'm going to have to watch part 2. I'll probably have to watch that twice. I think if you watched this movie on 2 times speed, it would probably be better. Or at least it would be shorter. But it shouldn't take you 6 hours to tell the story that you want to tell. You should be able to craft and edit a movie. We shouldn't have to edit away all the good parts that would have saved the movie. If that's the case, you're either not a good storyteller, or you need to be writing television shows or series. And this is neither of those things, and it's just a mess. This wine wasn't as great as it should have been. You broke my heart, Fredo. I knew it was you. And that's it. Swear to God, if that eagle is not in the second part, I swear to God, I'm going to lose my shit. I'm going to lose it.